welcome to Board Game Bonkers. This is the Bonkers show where we're going to do the random board game generator and Board Game Geek. You're not familiar with what Board Game Geek is? Well, it's a website that hosts thousands of board games, rates them, and there's also a forum as well. A fantastic place to go and find out some new board games. And this is a great way also using the Board Game generator to find new hidden gem games. And our goal is to find that kind of holy grail of that hidden gem board games. But we're going to do something a little bit different this time. We're going to keep flicking through, that's right, until we find games that meet a certain criteria. One, it's got to have a minimum rating of at least 6 on average and scoring, and have at least 10 individual ratings. That's right, so it must have 10 or more ratings, have an average rating of 6 for us to even warrant looking at it. Expansions we'll dismiss and we'll continue until we find some. We'll then do a bit of guesswork. We want you to get involved by trying to work out what game mechanisms do they use, how does the game play out. We'll look at a very brief description of the game, look at some pictures, and we're going to try and guess together. So this could be a little bit different rather than looking at a lot of the games which were quite frankly atrocious. We're going to just look at games that look quite good, and we might come across that hidden gem, holy grail type of game. Now, before we kick off having a look through Board Game Geek, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Yeah, the ones who keep watching, don't hit that subscribe button, go on, because there might be some useful videos that pop up now and again that you might enjoy. And also, please give our videos a like, a thumbs up. The more thumbs up and likes we get, well, the more likely the algorithm on YouTube will recommend this into other people's feeds. And please get involved as well. Let us know in the comments. Did you play along? How did you do? Did you guess correctly how those games would work? This is a little bit of fun, just a nice little fun game. Well, out of the way, and me stop rambling, let's get down to it and have a look. So we're going to head on to browse, and then we're going to click on random game. So let's see what comes up first. And we've got one that has no rating, so let's skip to the next one until we come across one that meets our criteria. Remember, a minimum rating of 6, that doesn't meet it, and a minimum of 10 ratings. So let's keep going. And I can't even pronounce what that says in any case. And still haven't got one. Okay, this is interesting. So we haven't had third time lucky. Will we get any more? Clean up? Nope. Let's move on to the next one. Occasionally we may get some luck and get some fantastic games. Sometimes we may get absolute rubbish. And at the moment we're getting absolute rubbish. So this is hit and miss at times. And Lingo Land, strange. Now you might get a hidden gem. Let's find out, and we'll keep going until we do. And at the moment we're having no luck. F to F? What on earth is that? Here we go. We've got one. Bayou Bash, is that how you pronounce it? Came out in 2021. Average rating of 6.9. Has at least 39 ratings. Fantastic. It's for 2 to 4 players. Has a weight of 1.5. It's really light, this game. So let's have a look at some pictures. Let's try and guess and see what this might be like. Okay, well, this is interesting. So we've got all the components. Very basic it looks, doesn't it? So something aimed towards kids, I'm guessing, or families. I love the artwork in this. I think this looks amazing. Okay, and this is it. This is all our pictures. Come on, we could have more than that. Yes, that is it. Oh, we've got some here. Okay, so it's a track, so it's a race. Definitely a race game. You've got a deck of cards. You've no dice, which is interesting. So it looks like you've got some maybe player powers, do you think? Let's have a closer look. Oh my goodness, that is close. Let's see if we can get a bit closer. There we go. So as you see, we've got the decks there, an event deck and a jockey deck. Interesting. So we're jockeys racing. I love this. I actually designed a game on animal racing. So this might be one I might check out. So it looks like you've got some of these abilities. It could well be. Let's have a look at this one. Eat my dust bunny. Place your racers on any open space in 2 spaces. Right, definitely a race game. No question about it. Let's have a look then at the actual game description. And here we go. So we've got different dice movement. I didn't see dice. That's interesting. Events, we know that because we looked at the event desk. Modular grid movement, yeah, so it's a kind of race game, isn't it? So they've got gremlins that climb on rocks and wade in puddles to catch and glimpse of the big race. Yes, it is a race game. So it's a chaotic race game for 2 to 4 players filled with their I was going to say rambling, the bunches races. So they're racing along. Obviously, are we doing anything apart from that? So we're controlling a race of unique abilities. We're right, they had looked like unique abilities, and you'll be battling for victory. Okay, so you can customize the track. So this looks interesting. I'm going to actually mark this and keep it and have a look at it later because I'm designing a game that's similar to this. And we'll continue with seeing if there are any other games that come up that's worth looking at. Well, Circus Divas doesn't actually meet our criteria. Let's move on to the next one and see if we can get lucky again. No, we haven't. I have no idea what that is. A tanks miniature game? Magic Mansion? No, doesn't meet our criteria. Not enough ratings, only 4. Next up, well, we've got another one. We've met one. Fantastic. We've got Dungeon Drop. Okay, it's a mini expansion. So I did say we'll skip the expansion. Let's have a look at the main game then of Dungeon Drop. And here we go. It's got a lot of ratings, 1.8 thousand ratings. Fantastic, 1,800. So we've got Dungeon Drop at 6.7 average rating. That's not bad, actually. It's got a weight of 1.39, which is how complex the game is. 8+ in age, so I'm guessing it's not for younger kids, given the weight of it and the age range. It's for 1 to 4 players. Let's have a look at some pictures. Let's see what this game looks like. Okay, so we've got dice, got lots of cubes. Could be gold, different resources. Got lots of cards, got a bear golem. Okay, interesting. Different creatures. Are we fighting against these creatures, do you think? Let's have a closer look. As we zoom in, and where are the cards? Where are you? There we go. Got a human. So, improvise, copy the race ability to the player on your right. So we're racing again. Interesting. We drop all cubes outside the dungeon, so we're dungeon crawling. Okay, going through a dungeon. Got an arc. So we are attacking monsters. Interesting. Are we though racing? Are we just doing a dungeon crawl fighting monsters? What do you think? Collecting resources? Perhaps we're collecting things and that's our objective and we're fighting monsters. That's what I reckon. Playing cards perhaps. Let's have a look. And we've got enclosure flicking. Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that, flicking. Mod your board, open draft, push your luck. Okay, this is interesting. Maybe we're way off. I've got a dungeon crawler, so we're right about that. So we gather your gear and prepare to dive into the labyrinth. Teamed with untold treasures and tunnels are said to be inhabited by unusual creatures. So it's a lightweight dungeon crawler for 1 to 4 players. And it's got a novel spatial element that assures no 2 games could possibly be the same. Interesting. At the start of each game, cubes varying colours, which represent both loot and monsters, right, in the dungeon, are dropped into the table from a height of 6 to 12 inches. There's a few games that do that, dropping cubes, and it's quite interesting because it creates that unique randomness. So this creates a dungeon layout with infinite possibilities. This looks, and you can customize your heroes, so this looks actually quite interesting. I think that's one we'll have a look at later. And I won't skew an average rating of 6.7. Generally, you have games that are good with that average rating. This doesn't meet our criteria of war games. Let's move on and see what else comes up. So far, we've got a couple of games. Here we go. Uno, high school musical, shocking, shocking average rating. So let's move on. Uno, of course, is a classic card game. Zombie Solitaire, and sadly, it hasn't got enough ratings, and average ratings only 4.8, so that's going to be terrible. Here we go. Axis Allies Miniatures Expandable Rules. We're not looking at any expansions. Axis and Allies is a very popular classic game. I particularly don't like it that much. It's far too luck-based, but there's definitely a lot of tactics. Here we go. Planet Trade. New game. Okay, so obviously an average rating of 9.2. That's obviously just come out, and probably people who have play tested it. But we are going to bomb your competitors into oblivion to be the best trader in the galaxy. Certainly, could this be 4x, 3x kind of game? Certainly space, and we're going to be fighting. Let's have a look at some pictures. So this looks quite a big game. It's got a weight of 3, so kind of medium complexity. Yeah, so are we colonizing planets, do you think? We're certainly gathering resources and we're going to be fighting. We've got cards, right, so it looks like it's triggered by card movement and perhaps we're playing those cards. Let's see if we've got any other pictures. We haven't. We've got a close-up here. So there we go. So yeah, so we've got kind of tracks here. And again, resources, perhaps we're colonizing planets, terraforming planets maybe. It's a huge deck of cards. Let's have a closer look. So, different resources perhaps. Trading. Okay, so we can trade as well. Is it got a kind of economics style game, do you think? Different resources are here. So we've got varied, perhaps the cost of them varies. So let's have a look. So it's a long game. So this is obviously perhaps a 3x, 4x. Let's have a look. Economics, I was right about that. Science fiction, space exploration, yes, a space game. It's got take that, favorable player powers, hand management. Well, we knew the bit from the cards. Worker placement, different worker types. That's interesting. So you're the CEO of your company with your own fleet of spaceships, discovering planets and exploiting these to sell resources, build factories, expand your company, and tax your citizens to achieve power and wealth. So there's nothing new about this theme. We've seen it before. Terraforming Mars, for example. But be aware of your competitors because they have the same goals. Okay, interesting. And you have an opportunity to attack throughout the game. Right. So that looks quite interesting. It's only for 3 to 4 players, but it might be worth checking out if that's your thing. I don't really go for games that are 3 to 4 because I play a lot of games with Kim, so I need games that are 2+. But that looks interesting. I like the artwork there. So that might interest you. So let's see what else we get. And we'll keep going until we get a couple more. So this is much more exciting. We're getting decent games now. Unfortunately, Polygon has only got 2 ratings. Let's go to the next one. The reason why I say 10 plus ratings is because it gives you a better base as an average. And we've got Xeno Shift and Forbidden Science. Is this an expansion? Yes, it is. So we'll go to Xeno Shift itself, which is quite a popular game. The average rating is 7.2 and it has a weight of 2.64, so kind of light to medium. 1 to 4 players, ages 14+, so space, so a mining operation in an alien-infested foreign planet. Okay, so it's going to be combat. We're going to be, obviously, against the aliens, trying to get resources. So that is economic, kind of a bit of styling, resource management. I love the artwork in these cards. I think that looks great. And you've got different kind of cards. I suppose you're going to play these cards, or these cards are your troops that give you these abilities. So once per round, deal 1 revealed enemy 5 damage. So definitely a lot of combat. And I like there's no dice. So this looks interesting. I love the artwork in this. This is a game I've noticed before. I haven't really looked at it. I think this artwork looks great. Are these events? And these are the enemies. Look at them. God, they look nasty. I like the look of this. Let's see what else comes out of this. So we got variable player powers, bag of pool building, so deck building. So we knew about the deck of cards. And I wonder, it's tower defense. Interesting. Would never have guessed that. Mind you, we didn't really look at the board. So you survive the horrors of the hive and now venture into the new world of Genesis the 7. So Xeno Shift Redmire, which can be played as a standalone game, or mixed with assets from Xeno Shift. It's a game system combines classic deck building, resource management. So we're right about resource management with fast-paced combat and unique-based defense elements. I like the look of this. I think I might have a look more into this later. So that's one I'm going to keep back to have a look later. Let's see if we can get one more. So we'll try and get at least 4 that we can find. So we've got Holland 44, hasn't got enough ratings. Let's go to the next one. In the wrong place. Fingers crossed we can get another one quickly. And we do. We've got Warhammer. Okay, so Warhammer fans, if you like Warhammer, you might like this. But this is an expansion, so let's go to the main Warhammer. Age of Sigma, so 7.9 on average. It's a core book, weight of 2, very short play time, so this will be a short one. So I'm guessing, is this a book that kind of gives you more ways to play Warhammer? I'm not sure. I'm not Warhammer fans. I have not got a clue. You're probably bashing away at the keyboard saying how it can you be that Warhammer's played this way. I know it's little figures and you move them around. It looks cool. It's never been a thing of me, so this is just a core book. So yeah, enter the Warcry core book. It guides you to skirmish combat and Warhammer range, so it's giving you more points and more ways to play Warhammer. That might be your thing. It's sadly not my thing, but I want to keep going because I want to try and find another one that I'm interested in. So let's keep going with this. I have no idea how to pronounce that. That looks horrendous. Let's move on to the next one. You get some bizarre, weird games coming up. Why on earth people list those types of games? So unfortunately, this one doesn't have enough ratings. Hide and go sloth. Sloths are really slow. Okay, that one's not great. A lot of war games always come up. Oh, we're in the wrong place. A lot of war games come up, I've noticed. So it seems to be a hell of a lot listed in Board Game Geek. This one doesn't have enough ratings. Let's move on to the next one. Santa, Winter. Here we go. Star Wars Legions, the Troopers expansion. Let's go into the main one, which is Star Wars Legions. So we've got a big one. Never knew about this one. So this epic miniatures battle with Star Wars minis. It has a weight of 3.49. So fairly, it's getting to the heavy side of things. And it's 2-player only. Interesting. Quite long play time, up to 180 minutes. So skirmish, we know that. There's probably going to be dice, I reckon. Those miniatures look like cool. Look at them. So definitely dice combat. And you have some card abilities as well. Yeah, so you get your card abilities to be a little bit of deck building. Okay, interesting. Right, I'm not into skirmish games. Let's have a look though and see. So yeah, definitely miniatures, die rolling, variable player powers. So Star Wars Legions invites you to enter the ground battle of the Galactic Civil War. So it's going to be all out battle. So if this is your thing, you might like this. I mean, the miniatures look cool painted. Just skirmish is not my kind of thing. It might be your thing. So let's move on to the next one and try and find a fourth one I'm quite interested to have a look at for what the reason might be. So Xeno Shift is the one that certainly pops out to me, but I'm interested in Buy and Bash and Dungeon Drop just for games that I've designed that look similar. I'm interested to see how they play. No, I don't want hit. Slip, I can't even pronounce that. Is that German? It is. Lobster pot. Sounds absolutely shite. So let's go to the next one. Atlas. No. As I said, it's potluck where you get any decent hidden gems, but sometimes you can. And what I found is you spend Trivial Pursuit into bites. No, there's better games with Trivial Pursuit. Linky, for example, if you want a trivia game. Nope, hasn't got enough ratings. Let's go to the next one. What's interesting, Urban Explorers. Jurassic Dinosaurs. Looks absolutely cack, given it's only got an average of 2. And here we go. We got Cargo Train. So it came out in 2014 as quite a decent amount of ratings, a weight of 2.6, so that seems okay. And it plays in 60 minutes. Ages 10 plus, so yeah, family weight. So let's have a look and see what this is like. Okay, this looks interesting. So cargo. So are we taking cargo from one place to another, pick up and deliver? So it's like we're building this kind of track, is it? And then delivering goods. That's what it seems like. And then you get points depending on how long it is. Yeah, so you've got 3 there, and I'm guessing you've got to build 3 of that colour. So that's what it seems like, which will give you points. So it seems very basic and simplistic. And action queue modular board, pick up and deliver. So we're right, set, collection. Yep. So it's a fast-paced card game with a train theme. So if you like trains, you might like this. I don't like trains. So every turn, the game is divided into 2 phases. So you do a planning phase, and then you've got the action phase. It's not my kind of game. I don't really like games like this, so I'm going to move on until I find one, but you might like Cargo Train. And 6 isn't a bad rating. It's nothing to sniff at. Nope, let's go to the next one. So quite a few interesting games that have popped up. Monopoly London, games to go. Oof. Okay. I think, is this the card one? No, it's not. This is just a normal one. I really don't like Monopoly. Not my cup of tea, but great when I was a kid. I mean, we all have memories of playing Monopoly. Genesis, right, okay. So let's go to the next one. There's no ratings. Interesting. I have no idea what this is. An Arabic or something? Is that an Arabic? What is this? Bahamut Gate. It's got met the criteria we set out. Let's have a look at this. Dragon game. The artwork is a bit strange. So I can see there's dice, got cubes, so kind of arcade type of artwork, the old school games, pixeled. So I wonder, are we fighting dragons or trying to kill the dragon? Okay, this looks interesting. Let's have a look at this. Is this in China, do you think, or Japan it came from? So fantasy fighting, yeah, die rolling, we know that, role playing. So it's a fast-paced cooperative game that reduces the fantasy RPG experience. I'm not a fan of RPG, but you might like this. So you'll be rolling the dice to serve as 2 functions. So they're designated through character-specific tables, which actions, so you use dice for your actions. So you can draw a spell, heal spell cards, you can heal, etc. And then obviously the dice will be determining how much damage you do to the boss. So that was quite interesting, actually. I'm not a fan of RPG. I think you could take that out, but that might be something that you're interested in. It just isn't for me. So I'm going to keep going until I find another one that I'm interested in. I hope we found a few that you will be interested in. And as you can see, it takes a bit of time to find some hidden gems, but we've been doing this for what, maybe 8 minutes, and we found, well, I've certainly found 3, definitely one that looks interesting, Casino Shift. You might know about that. I know about it, I just haven't looked into it. So we can occasionally find that hidden gem. Here we go, Blood and Plunder. Do we want to look at this? This is kind of frontline kind of art, and it's a kind of an expansion for that. I'm not going to look at that. Don't think I'd be interested in that. It's very basic. Magic 8 Ball. God, remember that? Years ago. Magic 8 Ball. That came out years ago, didn't it? Step Lively Shuffleboard, 1972. Right, we know games generally come out that time were rubbish. Hell, The Last Saga. Okay, let's have a look at this. So, average rating of 6.1. It's a weight of 2.62. So we've got solved mysteries and narrative Viking survivor horror game. This looks interesting, different. For one, best for 1 to 2 players. So it feels like it's maybe a solo game. Let's have a look. I'm intrigued by this. Well, we've got this book to go through. Oh, there's a ton of books. That might be your thing. You like going through those, maybe RPG, do you think? Can't really see, the pictures are awful. So it looks like it might be some kind of RPG. That's not really my style. Let's have a quick look though and see. So exploration, storytelling, yeah. So if you like storytelling, you might like this. Set in Scandinavian countries. It looks fascinating. I'm just not a fan of storytelling games, but you might like this. I love the kind of vibe this is given, that horror vibe. The art looks absolutely fantastic. I wonder if we're just going through a book, or if there's a board or anything, or the miniatures look amazing. Look at the miniatures, they look cool. So it's certainly got a lot going for it. I might have a look into this in more detail. I'm not a fan of story books, but this one, I wonder if it's any good, even though it's only 6.1. So we found a few games that look interesting. So we've got Hell and the Last Saga, we've got Casino Shift, Dreadmire. So I know about that, I just haven't bothered looking into it. So I'm going to have another deeper look into it. And I also came across Dungeon Drop, which looked interesting and looked a little bit different. So that might be something my son might enjoy. So I'm going to have a look into that. And then I think it's Bayou Bash, and that's a kind of race game. I've designed a race game. I want to check that out and see how different it is from my one. But I quite enjoyed going through it this way because we've actually found games that look decent, and I hope you enjoyed it doing it this way because it's a little bit different and it means we're finding games that are worth looking at rather than absolute crap. So if you're interested in this, why don't you hop on Board Game Geek and do the random board game generator? You might come across hidden gems. You never know, especially if you're looking for that game that perhaps you haven't got in your collection. You never know what pops up. Now, I hope you enjoy this. We'll do a couple more of these, the random board game generator for the Bonkers show, and then we'll probably stop it then because you can just do it yourself, and well, it kind of gets a bit boring then if it just goes on for too long. So we'll do a couple more, and we might do them differently, I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed that, and please continue to subscribe if you haven't already, or if you're even thinking about it, and hitting that like button as well. Thanks so much, and I hope you enjoy this. Until next time, take care.
This is Bonkers.